89.3 FM Toledo and Lima, 88.5 FM Wasia, on the web at yeshome.com, on the SFM Android and iTunes app, and the TuneIn Radio app, and now at 89.1 FM Fremont.
It is an awesome privilege. This lady was with Group 1 crew, and now she's venturing out on her own. It is Miss Blanca. Hello.
Hello.
And Blanca is currently on the Winter Jam Tour, and have been talking to a bunch of your fellow cohorts in crime, if you will, throughout the week about Winter Jam. Now we're going to get your take on it. How are things going?
They are going absolutely amazing. I really feel just so grateful that I get to be a part of this tour. It's awesome.
Now, when you were with Group 1 crew, were you guys ever on Winter Jam, or is this the first foray into it?
No, we were. We were on Winter Jam actually twice.
Okay.
So when we first got signed, which was like 7.5 years ago, we did it then. And then 3 years ago, we got to do it and be a part of the main show. So that was also really fun.
And now you're there in a different capacity. And tell us about the transition. And, obviously one of the front runners for Group 1 crew, and now venturing out onto your own. So the decision as far as the transition and how things have been going, give us kind of some insight on that.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of like Winter Jam, I feel like it's definitely a different experience, when you get to be a part of a group and come out here and you're all doing it together, and kind of, it's a huge stage, so you feel like you're carrying the load together. And so it's been definitely a scary but very exciting transition to be out here on my own. So it's been fun. It's been great. And the more and more I get to do it, I feel like the more comfortable I get, and kind of knowing that I'm out there by myself, but I'm still holding it down. So it's a lot of fun.
And where are you playing today? Because I know, like, yesterday you were near Indiana, or the other day you were near Indiana.
Yes, today we are in Chicago, Illinois.
All right, so Chi-Town. Great. How's the weather there? Is it as crazy as it's been here in Toledo, or is it pretty mild?
It is cold. It is really cold. I stepped off the bus and I was like, oh, man. Yeah, it's definitely cold.
And given that you're from Miami, right?
I'm from Orlando.
Florida,
yeah.
Okay. Knew it was Florida.
Floridian. Yeah, this Floridian is going into these cold places, and I'm just like, I'm not prepared for this.
Once again, we're talking to Blanca. You guys know her formerly of Group 1 crew, now venturing out solo, and currently on the Winter Jam tour. Winter Jam is going to be in our area at a couple places, Detroit and Cleveland predominantly, and also Fort Wayne a little bit later on, February and March. But Blanca, tell us how things have been going, as far as we talked a little bit about the transition on Winter Jam, going from Group 1 crew to, venturing on your own. But as far as the transition music-wise, going from Group 1 crew to, having your own, you got a solo record that's coming out, you got the EP right now. How's the transition been for that?
It has been so surreal. I think a lot of you can relate to when you've been a part of something for a really long time, whether it's your job or just something that you've been doing for, a big chunk of time, and it becomes like your comfort zone, and then stepping out of that is just so scary to think of, like, doing something different or stepping out on your own. But it's been such a great experience for me to just be able to really trust God through this process and have the faith to believe that He's going to carry me through it. And I've learned a lot about myself. I've been stretched in areas that I haven't before. I'm a new mommy, and I'm going into this new season of my life, so it's all very exciting. But it's just been more who I am.
Are you still there? We kind of dropped you out a little bit.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yep, we gotcha. Okay.
These arenas, you never know. It's like some areas are like dead spots, but yeah, it's just been cool to see God kind of show me more and more of who I am in this process and learn more about myself. So I've been enjoying it every second. I'm so grateful.
Well, tell us about the album itself. Okay, so you've got the EP going right now, new album going to be coming out here in a couple of months. Was there a theme behind it? I mean, obviously, you've gone through a lot of transition in, the last several years, between, being married, having a baby, some stuff with family, and then obviously the transition from, being out with Manuel to now being on your own. Did that come through in this album, or did it take a different direction from that?
I think it definitely came through in this album. I just was able to really draw from my life experiences and definitely from this transition as a whole. I mean, living it out and you're in it, so a lot of the songs really stemmed from that place of just like having to trust the Lord and move forward and trust that He has my future in His hands, and about identity. And I really felt the biggest thing that God was showing me through all of this was having my identity in Him and knowing that I am enough, that I'm built for this, that I'm strong, that I can do it. Because it can get scary when you step out and you just feel like, man, what do I have to offer? Where does my identity lie? Is it going to be good enough? Is it going to be accepted? But taking all that just fear out of the way and saying, you know what, Lord, I feel like this is where you have me and this is where you're calling me to, so I'm going to trust it and I'm going to go with it and know that I just have to be myself, right? Just be authentic, be true, be real, and be everything that He's calling you to be.
Once again, we're talking to Blanca, formerly of Group One Crew, now a solo career, and currently out on the Winter Jam tour. And I like the fact that you brought that up, because it's one of the things that we noticed with you, even, having been with Group One Crew, you guys focused a lot on, identity. And I know that you particularly, as far as young ladies and just their identity and, kind of having that fashion sense, kind of encouraging them in that in a proper way, and just identity in general. Is that something that, you're still kind of taking that on, or, how does that transition into this with you just being Blanca now?
Yeah, I feel like that's just a part of my story and a part of my ministry moving forward. Like, I really feel connected with young girls and young women, and I want to just inspire them and to be themselves and be true to that. And if it's fashion, if it's music, if it's dance, whatever it is that God has placed in their heart, that they can go for it and still be a light. And so that's what I just feel like that's going to be a part of my music and my ministry moving forward.
Once again, talking to Blanca, currently on the Winter Jam tour. Winter Jam coming to Cleveland and Detroit in February, and then also Fort Wayne in March. And Blanca, tell us about the single that you currently have out. It's called Who I Am. What specifically were you trying to convey with that song?
Who I Am, I feel like that song just ties in everything that I've been speaking on. And just like for me personally, when I stepped out of Group One Crew and I was starting to write for this album for the first time. So writing by myself, and I was so intimidated and scared and just full of fear. And I was just thinking, like, I don't want to fail. How is this going to look? And who am I in all of this? I was able to be all these different voices for Group One Crew, but what is my song? What do I have to say? What is God speaking to me? So Who I Am just was a song that wrapped that all up. And it's when God just began to show me that my identity is found in Him, and I don't have to worry about all of this stuff. I don't need to let fear and doubt just cloud my mind. I just need to focus on Him and know that in Him I am enough. And so that's what this song is all about, is finding your identity. It's a reminder to know that your identity is found in Christ, that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. So you just got to go on and live it out, and He'll be there with you every step of the way.
Once again, talking to Blanca, and she's currently on the Winter Jam tour. Hey, Blanca, if people wanted to find out more just about you, about your music, maybe even some upcoming tours or anything to promote your music aside from Winter Jam, where could they find you online?
Well, you can find me online at a few different places. I have a website, which is officialblanca.com. You can also find me I'm big on social media. You can I'm always trying to keep up and post stuff on there. So Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, I'm on all three. So on Instagram and Facebook, it's official Blanca, and on Twitter, it's the real Blanca. So make sure you keep up with me, and I would love to connect with all of you.
Absolutely. Looking forward to connecting with you during Winter Jam. We're going to be in Detroit for sure, and hopefully Cleveland as well. So be able to hook up with you and see what's going on. But we appreciate you taking some time out from the tour and letting us know what's been happening with you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, FM.